All right, as promised, let me tell you exactly what I ended up buying in case you just want to skip all this knowledge that took me hours and hours of research to gather and you want to just buy the thing that you know is compatible because that's what I did. Feel free to use these exact parts, all right? So first off, I bought my aluminum extrusion, my 10 series aluminum extrusion from Tnutz. And this is the website, tnutz.com. You can see up at the top here, there's an extrusion section, and these kind of change based on what they have in stock sometimes, but they do have the 10 series and the 15 series right now. This is where I got it from. There's lots of different versions. You have your black, you have your silver, you have all the different types of profiles, right? Where there's like 2x2 and 2x4, and they have a decent selection here. Some of it's on sale sometimes. You can check it out. So I bought all of my 10 series aluminum extrusion directly from Tnutz. Now, as far as angle brackets go, I bought actually 20 series gusseted angle brackets. Now this was a little bit weird because 20 series stuff is often not compatible with 10 series stuff, but I did find that to be the case for these little gusseted angle brackets. In fact, I really couldn't find a lot of the gusseted angle brackets for the 10 series anywhere online. 8020 has them, but like I said, I don't want to pay $3 a piece for them. And I was able to find these 20 series do actually fit with the 10 series. Now you can kind of see it's a little bit smaller, right? It's a little bit more narrow, but it does fit with the 10 series. The 20 series gusseted brackets do fit with the 10 series. And I found that those worked really well. And I got really lucky and I found them on Amazon. These 20 series gusseted angle brackets for 2020 6mm slot, and they're only $7.50 for 20 of them. I mean, that's about as cheap as you can possibly get, and I bought like 200 of these. So next, let's talk about the Tnutz that I ended up using. I used a mix of standard and economy Tnutz. Here's the economy Tnutz I ended up using just directly from the Tnutz website. And I used this 1/4 inch 20 economy Tnutz because that's the type of screws that I use. And it's really nice on the Tnutz website. It tells you what part you have compatible. So this is similar to the number 3382 on the 8020 website. So I love the descriptions on the Tnutz site because it tells you exactly what it is and whether or not it will work. So this is what I ended up using, these economy Tnutz, and I bought about 300 of these for my framing. Next are the drop-in Tnutz. Now, like I said earlier, you use a mix of drop-in and like regular or slide-in Tnutz because you're going to make mistakes, and the drop-ins are helpful to have when you screw up and you need to drop them in. And these are what I end up using. Again, I use the 1/4 inch 20 standard drop-in spring ball Tnutz, right? And I got these also from Tnutz, and it says what parts they're most similar to. And I bought some of these. And I could use the same screws. Now, speaking of screws, I use these black button head screws. Again, the 1/4 inch 20. And I ended up getting 3/8 inches long. Like I said, I found the 1/2 inch ones to be a little bit too long, so all my screws ended up getting 3/8 inches long. So with the Tnutz, so 1/4 inch 20 Tnutz with 1/4 inch 20 screws, and I got 3/8 inch screws. Now, one special thing I had to do, which you have to consider, is when you're making all the fasteners, you want to make sure you get stuff that's compatible with all the different parts. My hinges that I'm going to use to attach my cabinetry with, I found that the holes on those hinges are a little too small. So I had to buy some special combination of screws and Tnutz to accommodate those hinges. And so on the Tnutz website, for the standard Tnutz, I ended up buying the smallest ones they have, which are 8/32. These are still a standard size. But I got really lucky because I found out that the Tnutz, they're the only ones that carry these, right? You see right here it says 8/32 is unique to Tnutz. There is no 8020 compatible part for this because it doesn't exist. Only Tnutz make these, which is actually really cool because they're really small screws and they worked well for my hinges. Disadvantage was I couldn't buy screws directly from Tnutz. I actually had to buy those. I found them on Amazon. Here they are, these 8/32 3/8 inch stainless steel screws, and these worked, and they were pretty cheap for a box of like 100. So I got really lucky that I could make those work with my hinges. And of course, links to all of this is in the description below. If you want to skip all the complicated crap and just buy the stuff that I use, this stuff works. All right, now one of the last things I want to talk about here is how important it is to carefully design your entire layout if you are going to do your framing with 8020. And I did all of my stuff in Google SketchUp. So let's have a look at some of my designs here, and I'll show you exactly what I did. So here we are in Google SketchUp, and you can see these are the designs that I used. Now I had a full-scale model of my trailer over here that I did the flooring in and that sort of thing, and then I was able to basically take the measurements that I had and then create this little model of the 80-20. Now this is really easy to do. Because I did it in inches, I just did 1 inch by 1 inch for all this framing, and I was able to frame it all out, right? So you can kind of see my design here with the drawers and that sort of thing, and all of this is going to fit together really nicely. So if I turn on my color coding here, I categorize each of the different sizes by color. You can do that in Google SketchUp. Basically just give it a tag and you can make all the tags different colors. And then I took it in an Excel doc and threw all my measurements in there and got all my quantities, and it was all pretty tedious and time consuming to do all that. But it gave me really nice exact dimensions for me to order from Tnutz. And when I ordered from Tnutz, I was able to give them the exact dimensions. So here I have all my cabinetry and my upper cabinets and so on and so forth. And then I can turn on my cabinet faces, because I put these on here, and the shaker effect that I'm putting on that. So I was able to design all of this in Google SketchUp, and it was really nice and easy. And I'm going to try to make this Google SketchUp file available over on our website, DIYcargotrailer.com. And if you want to skip some of this or kind of play with mine, you're welcome to, and you can check that out. So one more thing I want to talk about inside of my design here is why I designed it the way I did. Because if you look really carefully here, let me zoom in. You look really carefully here, so let's look at these cabinets right here, okay? You'll notice that this piece right here is one long piece, right? This is the bench, so this is one long piece, and it has these vertical pieces and another long piece on top of it. But for my cabinets over here, I didn't do that. I did not do one long piece, right? Instead, I did short pieces with vertical pieces, short piece, vertical piece, short piece, vertical piece. Now, the reason I did this is because on the Tnutz website, under the info, there is save money on shipping, and they talk about how they ship by freight, and it's expensive, and blah, blah, blah. But if you use anything over 96 inches, it ends up being really expensive. So basically they say make it shorter than 94 inches and we'll save a bunch of money on shipping. So that's what I did. I designed my cabinets to work to they're less than 94 inches. If I would have made this one long piece, it would have been longer than that, and it would have cost me a fortune on shipping. But I kind of regret that. I kind of wish that I would have just used one long piece, because now my piece is not entirely stable. I went ahead and built these, are down in my basement. I have a whole other video on assembling the cabinetry. But when I assembled these, I found this to be somewhat flimsy connection between these. It'll be no big deal because it'll have some wood on it as well, and it'll be a little more stable later on. But if I truly wanted to make it as sturdy as possible, I would have used this bottom long base piece. It really should have been one giant piece. You know, I did that on both sides. So over on this side as well, you can kind of see I have one long piece and then my short pieces here. And I really wish I would just have done a long piece. So, you know, something to consider is the lengths of your aluminum extrusion when you're designing it. If you want to save money, if you don't really care, then you can just design however you want and just pay for the shipping. Alright guys, that is about it for this video. I hope you found this helpful. I know it was long and really technical and lots of really boring information in this, but I thought it would be cool to at least tell you everything that I learned about working with this aluminum extrusion. I like the product. I would probably use it again. I mean, it's complicated, but it's light. There's a lot of advantages. I mean, it's a really cool thing. And I mean, honestly, I think about a lot of cool products that you could do with aluminum extrusion other than just the stuff that we're doing here with the cabinetry. So I hope this was helpful. Let me know in the comments below if you have any questions, and I'm happy to help. Also, we'll have something that's written up on the website over on DIYcargotrailer.com. So check that out if you're interested. Otherwise, see you guys next time.